Hi, I'm Georgia Mills, and I'm the project manager for EJS ACT-PD, which is a really exciting project that I'm going to talk to you about for just a few minutes today, just to give you some information on what we've been doing and also on how you can get involved. So to start with a bit of background, why was this project set up? Well, I'm sure you're all aware, Parkinson's disease is the fastest growing neurological condition in the world. Currently, there's no cure, and whilst there are treatments, they only treat the symptoms of Parkinson's disease, and they also become less effective over time. There have been clinical trials previously who've been set up to try and find new treatments, but generally the clinical trials process is slow, inefficient, and often doesn't include diverse populations, which means we can't apply those results to everyone. So it's really urgent that we find a way to speed this process up and find some answers. And that leads us to the what. So the Edmond Safra Accelerating Clinical Trials in Parkinson's Disease Project, or EJS ACT-PD for short, was set up to find a more efficient way to test treatments for Parkinson's disease, specifically treatments that may be able to slow or stop Parkinson's disease symptoms from getting worse. And how we plan to do this is we've designed a multi-arm, multi-stage, or a MAMS trial. So in MAMS trials, we test multiple treatments at once in separate treatment arms against one shared placebo. And we also use early checks or stage analyses to see if the treatments show enough activity or enough promise to continue in the trial. Any treatments that appear to be ineffective at these early checks can be removed early, and the trial set up so we can add new treatment arms as we go. So there's lots of advantages to this type of trial design. It's very innovative, it's much more efficient, it means we get answers about multiple treatments in one trial, we need less participants for the placebo arm overall, and it's also cost and time effective. So I'll just run through some information on how the trial was designed. So we set up the EJS ACT-PD consortium, which now has more than 90 members from a range of different backgrounds and expertise, and this also includes people with Parkinson's disease and care partners who are involved in all of our project discussions. This was something that was really important to us because so many trials fail because they either struggle to recruit participants or they struggle to keep participants. So we wanted to make sure we designed a trial that was acceptable for people with Parkinson's and also meant that people who take part have a positive experience. We also included some extra wider input as well. We have our community advisory panel, which is made up of members from diverse backgrounds to help provide insights on making the trial more accessible and more inclusive so that we can recruit as many people as possible. And we also have our wider network as well, which is for when we feel like we need some additional external insight, we can send some requests out for feedback or input and receive that from a wider group of people with Parkinson's or care partners as well. I'll just run through a really quick overview of what the trial looks like. So if you took part in the trial, you would take part for 3 years, and that means taking the trial treatments for 3 years. And we're going to open the trial with 2 treatments initially and introduce a third treatment after around 1 year, and hopefully introduce new treatments continuously after that. We are looking to recruit 1,600 participants to the trial, which is quite a large number, but every single person that takes part in the trial will be really helpful, really crucial in helping us to further our understanding of Parkinson's disease and of whether these treatments are effective or not. If you do take part, you can also take part mostly from home. So after that first visit, we've set the trial up so you can take part online if preferred. We're going to open the trial at 40 NHS sites across the UK, including England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So hopefully you'll have a site nearby. And the trial's been very generously funded by charities and government, including Cure Parkinson's. There are some rules around who can or can't take part in the trial. So we're specifically looking for people who've been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease when they were over the age of 30, but there's no upper age limit. You also must be taking dopamine medication to treat your Parkinson's disease for at least 2 months before you start in the trial. You wouldn't be able to take part if you have any other reason for your Parkinson's symptoms other than a formal diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, if you have certain Parkinson's disease gene mutations, if you have significant low blood pressure, if you've had advanced Parkinson's treatment, so deep brain stimulation surgery, for example, or if you've had a diagnosis of dementia or clinically significant depression. But all of these things can be discussed with the study team if you're not sure, and they can help you figure out if it's safe for you to take part or not. So over here we can see an outline of the trial and the approximate timeframes for our stage analyses where we'll check if the treatments appear to be working or not. So we think the trial will run for around 6 years in total, and that's because we do need additional time to recruit participants at the start. But the faster we recruit participants, the faster we can reach our final analysis. And if you did take part, you'd be asked to attend for one in-person visit at the very start, and that'll be at your local study site. And that's to check that you definitely want to take part and that it's safe for you to do so. We will ask you to provide some blood samples for both safety and research tests at the start and the end of the trial. And you'll receive your medication in the post, so you don't have to travel anywhere to pick this up, and that will arrive around every 6 months, and that's for up to 3 years. And during that time period, we will ask you to complete 9 more appointments. These will include some questionnaires and some assessments with the study team. And as I mentioned before, they can take place in person, or if you prefer, you can do these online via video call instead. And if you are interested in getting involved, we're hoping to open the trial from early 2025 and gradually roll out the opening of our 40 sites throughout that year. The very first step will be to submit a registration of interest form, which can be completed online, and the link for that will be shared widely. Once that's submitted, you'll have a phone call from the study team to talk about the trial a little bit more and discuss whether they think you might be able to take part. If they think you might be able to take part, then they'll book you in for that screening appointment and you'll go in to see them at their local site. And then step 3 is actually having that screening appointment. And during that time, you'll discuss the trial further. If you wish to take part, you'll complete the consent form and then you'll complete some tests to make sure it's definitely safe for you to take part. And when they receive all of those test results back, they'll give you another call to let you know the outcome, which is either yes, taking part in the trial, or possibly not being able to take part, but then they'll be able to discuss some other options with you. We've tried to make the trial as inclusive as possible, so we've tried to really limit that criteria that would stop anyone from taking part. So in the meantime, if you'd like to stay updated with our progress, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. And we also have a website, www.ejsactpd.com. That's just at the bottom there. Thank you so much.